Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old.
He was known to be at Diddy's white parties. And when Aaron Carter told us about his brother, he said because he outed all of this information, people were coming after him and trying to unalive him.
Help me raise $100,000 as soon as I can so I can move to an undisclosed location where I am safe. They had cops come and check for a rope in my garage saying I wanted to hang myself.
He said on numerous occasions, if anything happens to me, I promise you, I am not suicidal. And no one said anything.
If I was to release those tapes, the world would shut down.
Imagine a lawyer so rattled by the leak that he storms out of the courtroom, leaving everyone to wonder what explosive secrets the tapes might reveal.
Lawyers representing Sean Diddy Combs in his sex trafficking case is quitting. Anthony Rico filed notice in Manhattan federal court Thursday, writing, quote, "Under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel." Rico, one of 6 attorneys for the music mogul, did not offer any other details. Combs has pleaded not guilty to the charges, saying he did nothing wrong. His trial is set to begin in May.
Some of these jurors had a profound reaction to it, and I think that's going to be a hurdle that the defense is going to have to figure out how to jump.
So, you know, it's funny because I think the defense has kind of put something else out about that videotape, that it was tampered with, either slowed down or made faster. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I don't think that it's going to amount to anything, because with all of those allegations, the prosecution came out and said, look, we have an original untampered copy. And everybody I've talked to on both sides, they think it's going to get admitted into evidence, even the defense.
The entertainment world is reeling after the alleged tapes featuring the late Aaron Carter and music mogul Sean Diddy Combs have surfaced, igniting a frenzy of media speculation in a case that sounds like it was ripped straight from a Hollywood thriller. New evidence appears to have sent shockwaves through both the legal and music industries, culminating in a dramatic courtroom scene where Diddy's own lawyer abruptly exited mid-hearing, what could be so devastating that even the counsel for one of hip-hop's biggest names would feel compelled to walk out.
Let me spill some serious, scalding hot tea about these bombshell tapes that just leaked. They're allegedly connecting Aaron Carter and Diddy to Hollywood's underworld, and honey, the internet is absolutely exploding with this news. These recordings reveal something utterly horrifying, an organized ring targeting young entertainers. And it gets worse. They're saying Diddy's lawyer might have been involved in all of this too. I mean, can you even imagine the scope of this conspiracy? The content of these tapes will absolutely make your jaw drop. They're talking about these secret parties, and I mean really secret, where innocent stars were exploited under the guise of networking and mentorship. And guess whose name keeps coming up? Our sweet Aaron.
Aaron Carter tried to tell us about Diddy. Right before Aaron Carter passed away, he said that his brother was a Melissa Schumann, who sued Nick Carter for SA, was in a girl group called Dream, and they were owned by Diddy. In her lawsuit, she alleges that Nick Carter first hit on her when she was 16 years old on a music video shoot with Diddy. And baby, her accusations against Nick Carter sound super similar to Diddy's. Around the same time that this woman is claiming these allegations against Nick Carter, he was known to be at Diddy's white parties. And when Aaron Carter told us about his brother, he said because he outed all of this information, people were coming after him and trying to unalive him.
Silence breaker for my brother, who is a and they're after my life. My whole family is after my life, and they're setting me up. And Sony Records owes me $3.5 million, and they don't want to pay me, and it would be in their better interest, just like Michael told me. They owe me money, and they're trying to off. And I'm begging you and I'm pleading you, help me raise $100,000 as soon as I can so I can move to an undisclosed location where I am safe. They had cops come and check for a rope in my garage saying I wanted to hang.
I find this all super crazy because at the same time, Aaron Carter was also saying that Sony was involved in this plot to unalive him. And during this time, the Backstreet Boys had came back and they were still signed under Sony.
For weeks, whispers about a series of damning recordings have floated around, hinting at hidden truths from the days when Aaron Carter, long dismissed by some as a troubled teen pop star, claimed to have evidence that could dismantle the carefully crafted image of industry titan Diddy. These tapes, reportedly containing both audio and video, allegedly reveal controversial details that have the potential to upend decades of public perception. But while the authenticity of the recordings remains unverified, one thing is certain: they've sparked a dramatic legal showdown that has now taken center stage.
So to my understanding, Courtney was really good friends with Tupac. I'm always trying to explain this. So in New York, we all know the East Coast, West Coast beef, right? Sure. We all have some knowledge of it. It's only cursory. So you have to imagine on the East Coast, there was two factions. There was the Bad Boy faction, and then there was Death Row East. So Death Row was starting to encroach upon Diddy's territory in New York. And there are a lot of people in New York who didn't like Diddy, who didn't want to rock with the Bad Boy East Coast, side of the East Coast, West Coast beef. So there were a bunch of people in New York, a faction, who were West Coast East Coasters, if you will. And Courtney was one of those people. So to my understanding, Courtney knew Kim through Tupac and Courtney's a industry insider, A&R, or a record exec who brought different people to labels to help them get into the music industry. So he knew producers, managers, all these people in the music industry. And one day he was talking to a friend who was with Kim. And Kim was like, who are you talking to? And he said, I'm talking to Courtney B. And she said, oh, let me talk to him, because they knew each other through Tupac. And said to Courtney, I got something, because for you, I know you'll know what to do with it. And that's the next day is when
Room drama reached a fever pitch recently when Diddy's attorney Anthony Rico was handed a document summarizing the leaked material. Eyewitness accounts describe his reaction as a blend of shock and indignation, culminating in an explosive moment when he stormed out of the courtroom. In his filing, Rico stated, "Under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs. Could this abrupt exit be a calculated move to buy time, or is it a genuine admission of the case's explosive nature?"
Legal battle surrounding Sean Diddy Combs took an unexpected turn when his attorney, Anthony Rico, abruptly withdrew from the case, citing circumstances that made it impossible for him to continue representing the music mogul. Rico, who has built a formidable career as a defense lawyer, filed a motion in court declaring that under no circumstances could he proceed as part of Combs' legal team. His departure raises numerous questions, especially since he had been one of the 6 attorneys slated to defend Combs in the high-profile case set to go to trial in May. Anthony Rico's resignation is particularly notable due to his extensive experience in handling complex cases. The world of hacking, secrecy, and power often collide in unexpected ways, and when a member of the hacking collective Anonymous comes forward with information, people pay attention. Recently, an alleged Anonymous member made a startling claim regarding Diddy's legal troubles and the abrupt departure of his attorney, Anthony Rico. According to this source, the sudden resignation was not simply a strategic legal move, but rather a calculated decision to distance himself from an impending scandal that could implicate some of the most powerful figures in Hollywood. The hacker, who claims to have ties within the entertainment industry, stated that a highly sensitive list is on the verge of being released. This document, which allegedly contains the names of numerous influential individuals, is expected to shake the foundations of Hollywood and beyond.
How significant is it that one of his defense attorneys, high profile, Anthony Rico, has quit and made it pretty clear, I think, in the wording of his resignation from the team and the case, that he obviously, I imagine, has issues with Diddy himself?
Well, in full disclosure, I've represented Sean off and on for many years, and my daughter is still the lead lawyer for Diddy. So from a father's perspective, I don't think it makes one whit of difference, frankly. Diddy knows what he's doing. I don't think that Tony was a lead lawyer in the case. Mark Agnifilo is the lead lawyer, who's very accomplished. I understand that anything Diddy related tends to get a lot of clicks, but this, to me, is no more than just a speed bump.
So we shouldn't be reading into it anything more sinister, because it just seemed unusual in such a high-profile case for one of the team to publicly resign like this.
You're right. I don't think that, in fact, I would venture to say that there's nothing to be read into it other than what often happens with these cases. You know, I was thinking back many years ago to Michael Jackson after I saw this, and there were lawyer changes and shuffling of the deck. It happens often in high-profile cases. I mean, there's always going to be some lawyers coming and going, inevitably. I've seen it in every single case I've ever handled. I will tell you that I don't think it means much of anything at all in this case. Sean is, by all accounts, ready, willing, and able to go on May 5th, and I expect that you and I will be back talking about it.
What is your overview of where he is in terms of criminal liability here, in terms of what may happen to him and the weight of the case? Because we know that when the feds come for somebody, they normally have a very good success rate.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely true. I tell clients when they come into my office, you know, the federal conviction rate is in the high 90s. So understand there aren't that many lawyers walking around who've heard the words not guilty in a federal courtroom. So I've been fortunate to have that, as has my daughter and both Mark Agnifilo. I will tell you, this is my take on this case. This case has been the media has so run with this idea that we have A-list celebrities, that we've got sex tapes. The tapes are about to drop. The sex tapes are involved, whether it's, and I don't even want to kind of push forward the kind of crazy narrative.
While the tapes have now become the flashpoint of the controversy, they also serve as a grim reminder of Diddy's tumultuous past, a past marred by allegations ranging from financial disputes with artists to accusations of hosting infamous freak-off parties, where the lines between power influence and exploitation were irreversibly blurred over the years. Diddy has been both celebrated for his groundbreaking contributions to hip-hop and scrutinized for behaviors that hint at darker undercurrents behind the glitz and glamour. This latest scandal not only reignites debates about his legacy, but also forces us to confront the broader issue of accountability in an industry known for protecting its most influential figures.
Aaron Carter begged for help in front of the world. He begged for financial support to help get him a private security team to keep him alive. He said on numerous occasions, if anything happens to me, I promise you, I am not suicidal. And no one said anything.
Just look at Aaron Carter's latest interview 2 weeks before his death.
Aaron, how you holding up?
I'm doing good, man.
You doing good?
Yeah, staying strong. It's been 8 months of a lot of turmoil and back and forth. But at this point, I think that I've got it under control. You know, I'm doing everything that I need to do, and just focusing on my music, which is what I love. It's my passion, and really just taking care of my aftercare. And
which consists of what? The care. You're doing what you have to do.
So
what does that mean to you?
Basically, a lot of people in the news, there's hundreds of posts from media, and they all said, that I'm in rehab, right? That's not what's happening.
You're not in rehab.
No, I'm not in rehab. I'm in an outpatient program that is just meetings. So it's NA meetings, AA meetings, just so the judge can see that I'm taking care of my aftercare, almost coming up on 5 years.
The Aaron Carter connection only deepens the intrigue. Before his untimely death in 2022, Carter was vocal about possessing sensitive, potentially incriminating evidence against major players in the music business. His hints, long dismissed as the ramblings of a troubled artist, have now gained a chilling new dimension in the wake of these leaks. Fans and critics alike are questioning, could Carter's posthumous revelations serve as a long overdue reckoning for the industry? And if so, what does that mean for Diddy, whose empire built on both musical innovation and controversial decisions now hangs in the balance?
Aaron Carter, I want to verify that this is actually my GoFundMe page. There's been a lot of misdirection that I've had to do in order to protect myself from being the silence breaker for my brother, who is a rapist. And now they're after my life. My whole family is after my life. And they're setting me up. And Sony Records owes me $3.5 million. And they don't
want to pay me, and it would be in their better interest, just like Michael told me. And Brad Paisley, who sued Sony Records for $10 million, they owe me money and they're trying to kill me off. And I'm begging you and I'm pleading you, help me raise $100,000 as soon as I can so I can move to an undisclosed location where I am safe. My realtor won't sell my house. They're all involved in this, and they're trying to keep me there. They had cops come and check for a rope in my garage, saying I wanted to hang myself. So please trust what I'm saying.
From the SA to the manipulation to the drugging of drinks, this all sounds super similar to Diddy's multiple lawsuits. So we have Aaron Carter, who outed his brother for being this type of person, and in the same exact breath said that people were trying to take him out because of this. And then we have this woman file this lawsuit who claims all of this stuff, and she even names Diddy and Nick Carter trying to hit on her when she was only 16 years old on a video shoot with Diddy, and saying that the managers of her and her girl group, who she was signed to Diddy, were telling her that they wanted her to date Nick Carter at 16 when he was 21. All I can think about is what Kanye told us a couple months ago, that they offed Aaron Carter, and he was saying that it was Harley Pasternak, and he even named Jay-Z, and I didn't understand that. But now we know Jay-Z and Diddy are besties. I mean, they're road dogs. So all of this makes even more sense now. Now we have like an actual connection. I mean, this lawsuit literally talks about this woman being signed to Diddy, and that's when she first met Nick Carter at 16, and he was trying to hit on her when he was over age. Like, and just how similar these lawsuits are has my mind blown.
Alleges that Diddy kept a vault of tapes documenting his alleged sexual encounters. Was there any hard evidence that such a vault existed?
The sources say there was a vault that existed, yes. And some of the tapes were flown out of the country on a private jet.
I paused for effect because a vault did exist, according to his sources, and those tapes that were in the vault were flown to other countries.
That's from the sources directly, so I have to believe them.
And this
not have to, but
right.
I have no way. How am I going to?
You see how that you run it that you have.
Do you expect me to go in as safe as?
Well, no.
I'm a shot.
No. What I'm asking you is, like I said once again, because you're the guy who's spearheading this thing that allegedly comes from Kim. So me asking the questions, I'm like a can of spray paint.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know which wall to go, and tell them. Right. So that's the reason why I ask these questions, because I actually don't know. So, and so, like I said.
Now, fair, but he's a little aggressive in this. The commenters agreed. Let's get a little bit more into these tapes.
So you didn't, these are other things that you didn't include in why did you keep that out?
Correct. Because I can't reveal everything at once. It's too shocking.
It's too shocking if he reveals everything he knows at once. Now, one could argue, oh, come on, dude, just put it all out there. But he's now alleging it's that bad, guys. And here's that quote from the beginning in full context.
If I was to release those tapes, the world would shut down. Okay? If I showed one of these tapes, I'm telling you right now, the whole music industry and Hollywood, it would just grind down like this. They're all going to start pointing at each other like this, and it's going to be bad.
It's interesting. It's an interesting point, Piers. But I mean, again, Diddy is very interesting in that for the last 30 years, he has taken pictures and partied and hung out with everyone. Yes, he's hung out with politicians, but I guarantee you a lot of them politicians, I ain't saying all of them, but a lot of them politicians had no idea what was going on behind the scenes. When you go to a Diddy party, there's levels to the Diddy party. Yeah. There's the Diddy party at the club. There's the Diddy party at his house. Then there's the after party. Then there's the after party, right? I haven't been to any of those after parties or after parties, or you know what I mean, or any of those parties, in fact. So I'm just speaking as a researcher here and as a journalist. I'm saying that there are levels to them. So there are lots of people who go to the Diddy parties that don't know any of that. But if you find out that all these awful things happen at Diddy parties at 4 a.m., it's hard to go to the media and say, yo, I was at the Diddy party, but I left at 12. Or I was in the Hamptons, but I didn't go to the next location. And so I think a lot of it is fear of public relations. And I think to Candace's point, I don't think it's a coincidence that Diddy has all these strategic alliances with every single person in Hollywood, black or white. And I think Harvey Weinstein didn't have those types of relationships, so it was much easier for people to run from him. And also,
the kind of hypocrisy though, Candace, which really gets my go with this. Take somebody like John Legend, right, who decided to rewrite the lyrics to "Baby It's Cold Outside" because it endorsed sexual misconduct, which obviously was completely preposterous.
Aaron Carter tapes, or is it merely a desperate attempt to buy time? And in the midst of these shocking revelations, who really holds the power in hip-hop's murky underbelly? If you're hungry for every twist and turn in this high-stakes drama, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The truth is out there, and it's only a matter of time before everything comes crashing down. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next.